making the basics available, so that this is a foundational method of yoga, and this is also a Parvati method of yoga, not the Shiva method of yoga, where there are animal poses in Hatha Yoga, whereas in this method it is all human based. It is just human anatomy and physiology, human positions, human everyday activities. And it's from the appreciation of the human body itself and the affects from the environment, from everyday interactions that a human body experiences, and which needs to be maintained back such that the person that I am, for example, the person who's practicing, continues to be who they are. Like, I maintain being me and not just becoming somebody else, or taking on behaviors, mannerisms of somebody else and not even being aware of it. And over a period of time, I become somebody other than me. Yeah. So when I say Parvati method of yoga, it also means what it takes to maintain being me, and then what it takes to better who I am. So thereby what I call as self-improvement. And then as I'm becoming a better person, better me, what I do, how I do things, I'm coming more to the essence of who I am, and then living life from the essence of who I am, how I am, what are my mannerisms, and what are the gifts that I bring into the world. Yeah. And that requires an appreciation of what I call as, well, it may be called as body language, but what I mean by body language is my own body's responses to how I am, which defines my mannerisms, being me versus somebody else. And when do I notice that I'm going away from who I am to somebody else? And then what it takes to bring back to being me, my mannerisms, my thoughts, my emotions, my ways of doing things, versus I'm just getting moved into somebody else's behaviors and mannerisms, which means I wouldn't be doing what I as a person have come into existence for, versus doing somebody else's ways of doing, and hence the results is different there. For example, you're cooking a dish, yeah? Salt does salt's work. If I put sugar, it becomes something else, yeah? So if the salt begins to behave like sugar, then we would have a different dish, yeah? So if I'm of a certain metal, a certain composition, and if my composition is changing, if my biology is changing, my mannerism is changing, I'm being somebody else, and hence what I need to do is not happening. Something else is happening. Yeah. So that's just for an example. Now, to give another context from which to understand Nirbeeja Yoga, Nirbeeja Yoga is a 24/7 yoga. What that means is the need to maintain being me does not just end with, say, morning I do a few meditation, and then I'm telling this in comparison with Hatha Yoga, so there's maybe a contrast. Say I'm doing some practices in the morning and then leaving off, and then through the day I'm interacting with other people, the sun is moving across the sky, so the electromagnetic effect on my body is happening, and then I'm interacting with, say, a computer or with different material, and I become a certain kind of a person. Like, for example, if I'm kneading dough, yeah, chapati, there's a certain physical exertion that is required, versus, say, I'm reading a book. The physical exertion is different. So if I'm not reconstituting back into my normal, other than efforted ease, then I'm continuing to maintain a certain stress which is there for kneading dough, for example. Yeah. Or morning, I need to be a certain kind of a person. I'm doing certain activities. If I continue to be that kind of a person in the afternoon, then my afternoon activities goes off, because I need to do certain other things in the afternoon, and I need to do certain other things in the evening, and certain other things in the night. So if I'm continuing to be my morning person in the night, that would not give the certain effect that I need to be in the night versus, or say, in the afternoon. Yeah. So Nirbeeja Yoga is through different practices, maintaining being me through different times of the day. This is only to give an appreciation of how Nirbeeja Yoga is different from Hatha Yoga. And also, okay, so another facet is, to give another example, okay, in Kottayam district of Kerala, there is this temple, this Tiruvarpur temple, yeah, Krishna temple. There it is said that the idol there, Sri Adi Shankaracharya, he said that the idol needs to be fed all the time, yeah, and the temple is used to be closed only for like 2 minutes in an entire year. Yeah, I don't know if that still continues, but I read that that is the history, and that's the practice maintained there. Why? Because the idol is always hungry. Yeah, it's said that at a point in time when they actually closed the temple for more than some time, the decoration, the waist belt got loose, and was told that the idol is always hungry and needs to be fed. So, in the practice of Nirbeeja Yoga, it's a 24/7 yoga, and it's like what it takes to maintain a marriage that maintains harmony with oneself, between known and the unknown, between action, between being and doing, between being submissive to different, say, authority or to different aspects of a work, versus being in sync with yourself and being in your own authority, for example. Or there are different hierarchies of love, different orders of love, and if we are and we need to sort of maintain a balance between two aspects, polarities. So it takes like a marriage does not just get over once the marriage ceremony gets over, yeah, or it's something that needs to be maintained all the time, yeah. It's like once you're born until you die, yeah, you have the job of living, yeah. So Nirbeeja Yoga is like what it takes to continuously live, such that you're ongoingly becoming who you need to become and doing what you need to do, yeah. And if you're going to slack at any point in time, then you could be standing where you are while the river water is flowing around you, yeah. So it's like what it takes to be a boat on a river going towards where you need to go to. Yeah? You don't stop midway, yeah, because then the current will take the boat in its own path, yeah. So Nirbeeja Yoga is like what it takes to be that boat, gently rowing on the river, on the water surface, such that you are actually reaching the shore where you intend to, the destination where you intend to, what you intend to be accomplishing in life. So it's a 24/7, yeah. The example that I said of the Tiruvarpur temple, Sri Krishna temple, is to give an example for what I'm saying is not new. There is actually mythological reference to there being such a form of energy, so to speak, which is 24/7. That is hungry 24/7. It's like being hungry for life, hungry for being and becoming. It's and what it takes to feed that hunger, such that you are maintaining what the health, wealth, and wisdom required for you to reach that shore that you're born for, yeah. So so maybe a marriage also would give an example. So you don't stop being married, yeah, because then you would find very interesting consequences. So it's so why am I saying also the example of a marriage is because it takes something to maintain harmony in your life, in your society, in the organization you're working in, what you're working for. It takes something to continuously maintain harmony, because it is very easy to get bounced off of by say there are other teammates, other people amongst whom we live, and it's so easy to get taken away by that and lose sight of why we are in that organization, or why we are part of life, why we are part of this system of people, of contexts, of work we do. Why are we interested in doing what we are doing? Why are we alive? So it takes something to maintain the harmony such that what we are creating continues to be beautiful, appreciative, and continues to add value. So it takes something to maintain that harmony such that we are being and becoming, and also our being and becoming is appreciated and appreciative. Yeah. So maybe the example of the Tiruvarpur Sri Krishna temple, Sri Krishna idol, will maybe give an example for this is not a new concept, and that mythologically, in terms of cosmic intelligence, there are such what I would call as placeholder, for example, for such an idea, and that such idea has a role to play in the scheme of things. Yeah. So so they are like in the morning when we light a diya in front of a deity, we are remembering certain things by which we are lighting that diya or a candle. Similarly, there are these the temple, for example, is a memory holder for there is such a concept. And then it is about when we are living life in such continuous dedication, in such continuous being. Why am I saying continuous? Okay, the Tiruvarpur idol, it does not consider the eclipse. So, for example, during the eclipse time, other temples are said to close, but this idol is not bothered by the eclipse and all of that. It is just hungry. Yeah. So what does it take to ongoingly maintain that kind of dedication to doing a work where you're not stopped by other considerations? And what does it take to be doing such a work that every other consideration becomes secondary to what you are on purpose for? And what does it take to maintain harmony such that your health is not going out, you're not running out of battery? Yeah. And okay, so I also need to say this. When I mentioned a 24/7 yoga, when I began talking about this, there was probably a sense of exhaustion. Like, how can a person be doing yoga 24/7? And I'm saying 365 days. Yeah. So how could that be? And I keep hearing different people doing that during their different jobs, that they tend to keep getting exhausted. Yeah. So what does it take to continue doing something when there are these phases of exhaustion, these phases of different states of being and becoming? So I'm just setting a context, and I'm speaking to an unknown audience, so I don't know how much is going to be understood, but I'm kind of learning to teach this method of yoga. So, and if it was more interactive, I would probably understand better on what to say, what not to say, what better to say more. So I'm hoping to hear something, some comment, some response about this, so I can know better. So I leave this message for your appreciation. Do let me know what you think. I'm going to keep practicing on this. I will learn better. So